Morning, everybody. Here we are. It's Monday, and boy, we had a long weekend for Wisconsin Masters. We were at our Wisconsin State Championships, so we're here, ready to recover. Shout out to John Henry. You're registered for this morning, so glad you're coming. Julie Hall, I know you're going to be here too. So if there's others of you who had a great meet weekend and you're here to do some repair, we're going to take care of that today. Get some good stretching in, some longer poses. Hold things a little bit longer and let our bodies recover. The best thing to do after hard work is to give our bodies some rest so that they can repair and come back stronger and be ready for another week of hard work at the pool. For those of you who are new to Swimmer's Edge, we're glad that you're here. We work out 3 times a week. We're Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can watch those workouts anytime you want. They don't have to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It could fit into your schedule wherever that is feasible. You can watch live or recorded. We're live 6:30 Central Time those days, but you can watch anytime you like around the week. And those workouts stay up for the whole week before we take them down and do next week's load of workouts again. So we're glad that you're joining us. If it's your first time also, please do know that our philosophy is for you to make this your own practice and to take things to your own edge, meaning if we're in a stretch or a pose that just feels a little too much for you, you have to honor your body in that moment, especially because we're not all together in one studio. We're doing these separately at homes and at gyms, at different places. And so you have to know your own self and back off or step things back just a little bit. And if you want more in your practice, usually we're cueing to some more difficult poses as well. If you have questions about anything that's from class or other things outside of it, swimmersedgeyoga@gmail.com or our question and answer platform here at the webinar. So again, we're glad that you're here. We're going to start seated today. Whenever we start seated, it's your option to sit cross-legged or even just sit on a block and extend those legs flat out wide, or to come into half lotus, which is where one leg is on top of the other, a foot on top of the lap, or whatever modifications you need. Maybe you have a blanket or a block that you want to sit up on, and that helps your knees to open wider. We're always working on opening those hips a little bit, but we don't want to cause any pain or make any issues where you have them already. So let's take our hands and just rest them on our lap, palms facing up, shoulders down away from our ears. I always say these things, but melting your shoulder blades, those scapulas, feel them just kind of melting down your back there, almost like wings. You can fold them in as those shoulders move down. Sitting tall, engage your abs, roll up through that pelvis. So strong through your torso, lengthen that spine, and just start connecting with your breath. So inhaling through the nose, which makes our bodies lengthen and lift, and then exhaling, relaxing as you let that air out. So filling up the rib cage with air as you inhale, lengthening the body, and then exhaling, expelling that air. Just slow down that breath. A couple more breaths here, just relax together. And we'll take our arms out wide, lengthen them, extend them so that your elbows are straight. Spread the fingertips wide. We'll inhale, lift the hands tall. Keep those shoulders down as your hands come together above your head. You can raise your head and neck and look at your hands. Exhale, we'll press the air down, palms come down towards the floor. Chin drops to your chest. Inhale, lift. Look at the hands, press the palms together. Exhale, drop the chin down to the chest. Feel that stretch through the neck. You're probably getting really good at noticing your body now. Feeling when the shoulder feels a little discomfort. Maybe the tightness in one place or another, depending on what your meet was like. I only swam 350s yesterday, and I can tell. Some of you guys swam a lot more, I'm sure. Inhale, lift. Let's drop from side to side, a little side motion. So right hand down to the floor. As you exhale, extend the left arm over your head towards the right wall. Now you can sink down into that right elbow if that's the right amount of stretch for you. Remember, open that body to the side so your chest is open to the front there. And the shoulder is up tall. Don't roll over towards your lap. Inhale, lift. Extend to the left side. Reach laterally. Feel that through your lats here. You should have that right hip still planted on the floor. So if you're coming down into your elbow and your hip starts to lift, then just come on up a little bit. If your neck is doing okay, you can take that gaze to the ceiling as you inhale and exhale from side to side. One more time to each side, right, then left. Strong through that torso when you come up. Let's inhale all the way tall. Let's keep our arms lifted. We're going to twist to the right this time. So the whole torso turn, drop your left hand to the right knee, look over that right shoulder, sit tall through the torso as you gaze over that right shoulder. Just breathe here. Try not to hold things tight. That left hand on your right knee shouldn't be all muscled up. It's just a leverage, so use it for twisting. Feel that spine. One more breath. And exhale, let's come back to center. Let's uncross the legs, switch which one is on the top. Even if you're just sitting in a crisscross pose, just switch which leg is near the front or back. Hands come back to the lap. We'll twist to the other side. Inhale, lift up. Lengthen your torso. Turn to the left. Drop the right hand to the left knee. Look over the left shoulder. Again, sitting tall. Just breathing, finding those places you're holding tight. And let's come forward. We're going to extend our legs out into staff pose. So just extend those legs. In a recovery kind of mode, let's let our knees have a little bit of bend. So just a little micro bend there. You can flex the feet, bend the knees just a little bit, sitting up tall. We're going to inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, bend at your waist. So the hands stay high, the face stays high. Bending at the waist, just bringing that belly over your lap. We're just going to hang out there for a moment. No need to come down forward and compete with how far you can bend. Just a little bend tall. It's heavy in the arms probably. If it's too much for your shoulders, you can bring your hands to heart. You're going to take that right leg back with us. Bend at the knee. Plant the foot on the floor here. We're going to inhale the hands. Lift them up. Now extend over that left leg with the left foot flexed. Come inside that right knee. As far as you want, you can just reach forward, that lap over your thigh, or the belly over your thigh, or you can come to a foot. If you like, you can grab hold of a strap or a towel if you have one nearby, and use that as well instead of trying to reach for the foot. It's up to you how much you want to make that an upper body motion. Just feel that position, feel that outer thigh and the left leg. As you keep that foot up, you're stretching a lot more of that quad and hamstring than if you just let it drop out to the side. Hold that left or right knee tight to your shoulder or side. Keep it up tall. And release. If you have some tingling in your leg at all, you might need to readjust in those folds, not be so deep. Let's take both knees wide. We're going to go back to the left side in a second. We'll have a butterfly stretch here. So the knees are wide, soles of the feet pressed together. Just hold on to the toes, sitting up tall. Actively press those butterfly knees wide down towards the floor. If you have to extend your feet away from your groins a little bit, that's okay. Just breathing tall again, sitting real tall. Don't hunch over and make this a passive, seated position. Stay tall through your torso. Maybe apply some leverage on your ankles or your feet with your arms to stay tall. You can have your hands rested as well, whatever gives you the most benefit. All right, we'll extend the right leg long. We'll keep the left knee near us. Again, planting that foot real close to that right groin. Flex the right foot. So once you've got yourself into that position, just long through the torso, and then take the hands out to the side. Inhale, lift, or exhale, lower over that right foot. But remember, you're keeping the right foot flexed, right? We're leaning over, holding on to the foot or the shin. That left bent knee is close to the upper body. Don't let it drop out lazily to the side. Actively pull it in, using that musculature. Deep stretch through the hamstring here. Breathe. Use your breath with your exhale, maybe deeper into that stretch. And release. Let's bring the right foot back. We'll go back into butterfly stretch, sending those knees wide. But this time, let's thread our hands, palms down underneath our shins, and come into clam. So this is a little more rounded back here. In clam, you can open up the shoulders a little as you lean forward, face forward. A little different spot in the groin here, so be careful. You may be thinking after this hard meet weekend, I could do this last week and now I'm a little less able. So we're just taking our bodies back to repair. Be kind. And release. Let's come down to our mat. We're going to come onto our backs. Just flat on the floor. Lengthen out that spine. Find some equal position of your hips. We're going to bring our knees up into the chest, into a tight tuck. As you draw those knees close, you hold on to your shins or maybe your knees, maybe your ankles, whatever works for you. But the goal is to actively press your tailbone back down towards the floor. So as you're up into that little ball and your rear end starts to roll away from the mat, actively lengthen your spine to push that tailbone back down while you're in the tuck. It's a kind of a strange feeling, but think about that pelvis and how you can open it up and send that tailbone, that final point, the tip of your tailbone back down to the mat. Just lengthen that spine out. And then think about your upper body. What are you having to do that on the upper part of the spine? Try to keep all of your spine on the mat. Draw those knees in tight. That's great. We'll send the left leg long. Keep the right knee up, engaged at your chest. Flex the left foot so that it's towards the ceiling, and just hold that right knee tight to your chest. And breathe. Again, keeping that spine long. All of that left leg is pressed down into the floor. Don't let it just hover there. Try to get it down onto the floor. And then we'll switch. Exhale. Whoa, that was a lot. Take that right leg down. Be slow and gentle. We've been hanging out there with that right knee tight, so mine didn't want to move. And just do laugh at yourself, right? I mean, some of the stuff that we do is like, wow, my body can't do all of this all at once in a weekend anymore. It's all right. Carefully switching right to left. When I said carefully, that was for me. Maybe it was for you, but that was for me too. Kind of let it rip on the last go there. So inhaling, switching, exhaling, lower it all down. Let's bring the right knee up now. We're going to send our legs up the wall. So again, then legs up the wall, you want your tailbone near to the floor on the mat. The legs are straight up from your body and the feet are flexed. You might have to bend your knees a little bit. That's okay, as long as your feet stay flexed towards, so the soles of your feet can be up towards the ceiling. So either straight leg or a little bend. It's up to you. Strong through the core. We're going to go ahead into a straddle. So you might want to reach down and hold on the inside of your thighs. That's okay. If you like to do that without support, you can do that too. But a nice straddle, letting the legs just fall open, wherever that point is for you. And then bending the knees, bringing them in to a wide knee tight tuck, and then sending it back to the sky. So we'll do that kind of motion. So inhaling, exhale, let the legs fall apart. Take a breath there, inhale, exhale, bring everything into the chest. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, open into a straddle. Inhale. Exhale, wide knee, tight tuck. Awesome. Let's take our hands inside our knees, under our heels, the outside edges of our feet, happy baby. So rocking from side to side, a little massage on your lower back. That's great. Let's go ahead and plant those feet on the floor. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit of more limber nature in the lower body. We're going to take our arms out to a T. The feet are planted on the floor. We're going to just rock those knees from side to side. Keep your feet planted though, and roll onto the sides of your feet. Don't shift your feet around. So let them roll to the right and roll to the left. So you're just rolling onto the sides of your feet as those knees come towards the floor. When you get towards the side, you'll notice you have to actively press those knees, like you'll activate some muscles to press those knees towards the floor. So one side and the other. When you get to the right side again, let's keep them there. We're going to twist and look towards our left. And then we're going to take our right foot out from under our left knee and put it on top. Just breathe. Press down on that left knee. Try not to arch your back. One more big breath here. Take a really deep inhale. With your exhale, release. Press more into that stretch. Keep your legs crossed this way as you bring your face back up towards the ceiling and your knee up towards the ceiling, the left knee. Send your right knee wide. It's still crossed over the left. Flex your right foot. Now inhale. And with your exhale, lift your left knee. Squeeze it into your chest. Maybe reach through your leg and take hold of that left knee. Just draw it in and recline pigeon. Nice deep hip stretch. If you want, you can rotate your left ankle while we're hanging out here. But just breathe. Try not to have anything contracted. Even those arms that are pulling your leg tight, just shouldn't be just all strength. There's some strength there, but not tight muscle. And release. You don't have to have everything contracted in order for it to be helpful in those stretches. Again, plant the feet on the floor. Knees are high. We'll rotate to the right, arms out to a T. Come back to the left. Going to stay here on the left side. We'll look towards the right. Take the left foot out from under the right knee. Put it on top so it's kind of crossed over. Add a little pressure. Again, not major contracted, wow, I'm really pushing with all my might, but just some added gravity and leverage. One more big breath here. I have thoughts of coffee running through my mind this morning. Inhale, let's lift everything up. I'm even trying to have to push the coffee thoughts out of my head as we do yoga here. That's funny. Send your left knee wide now, the left foot towards the ceiling. Okay, really nice stretch there. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe you're really just needing that hip stretch and that left foot flexed is plenty with it crossed over the right knee. If not, then take a deep breath. And as you exhale, lift your right foot off the floor. The knee comes closer to the chest. You can reach through and take hold of it. The closer you come, the more you're going to feel that stretch in that left hip. If you have a lot of hip flexibility, maybe you don't even feel it. Maybe it's just a nice position of stretch. You can roll your ankle. For me, that left side is particularly tight, and so I'm just honoring it by not drawing it in as close as I might expect. With every inhale, just let go of the stretch a little bit, let it release, and exhale, bring it back in, draw it in closer. If you're fighting something or honoring it, just inhale and let the leg go or the stretch go, and as you exhale, draw it in. So using your breath to help deepen the stretch to a good place. And we'll uncross everything. That's great. Let's take a full body stretch, so hands overhead, legs outstretched like a streamline. Don't arch that back. Pull that lower back towards the mat. But again, don't feel like you have to have every piece of your spine touching the floor. You can actively try for that, but it's not entirely necessary in this streamline position. Let's take our hands and feet over towards the right side of the room. So just kind of heel, sneak over, and arm sneak over. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. That'll help. You can even cross your left foot over your right. Nice crescent stretch. And then we'll go back the other direction. And as you come through center, just switch so the left hand holds the right and the right foot crosses over the left. And release. Let's roll onto our sides, and we'll come up through all fours into tabletop. Excuse me. I have a block nearby for this next one. We're going to do some tricep stretching here, a little upper body work. But let's get some cat-cow before that. So coming into that all fours position, knees underneath your hips, lots of air under your palm, and we're going to sneak an inhale into cow, and an exhale up into cat. So really deep through that cow, lift the face, exhaling up through cat. So one of the things I ask my students through cat and cow is when you come into cow and you're inhaling and you look up and that tailbone is lifted, open your mouth. Just stretch out that face, that jaw. It's not fun really to do that in a class full of people because it feels really weird, but if you're just at home alone in your living room or your office, just open your mouth real wide in cow. Maybe open your eyes as well real wide. Stretch the muscles of your face. Tall back through cat. Maybe you rock forward and back through cat. Come into cow. Just feel it out. Do what you like. If you like to check out your wrists and it feels good to rock back and forth, then just do that in those stretches. Shift the weight gently and come into cow. Just use your breath. Today we're doing a lot more talking, but if you want to just get lost in the breath of this and the motion, boy, that is really what yoga is for, getting lost in the movement, finding that good feeling of the cat-cow stretch. So just find it for yourself. Okay, the next time you come up into cat, we're going to stay with that arched back and push back towards your heels in child's pose. So stay that rounded back, coming into that deep child's pose. Extend those hands. Oh man, just had a good shoulder ligament pop over my joint there. Woo! Extend your hands forward. Take your fingertips on that sticky mat and really work your fingers forward. Almost like you're trying to make your arms longer. Your neck should be light in between your shoulders. You should be able to turn your head yes and no. Take your forehead down to the floor. Stretch through the rhomboids a little bit. Upper traps. We'll come back up, really engage the core, come back up through all fours. Drop those elbows down to where your hands were, and we're going to come into puppy. So for puppy, remember you extend your hands forward and lower your chest, but your hips stay high. So extend from that elbow bent place, but keep your hips high. Notice if you've got some tightness in one side or the other. My left shoulder is not allowing that hand to move as far forward, so I'm keeping my right hand back a little bit to keep that symmetry instead of trying to be asymmetrical in the stretch. And release. We'll come up a little bit. Let's take a block if you have one. If you don't, you can use the floor too. You take a block to the mat right under your face, like you're looking down at it, and then plant your elbows on the block. Your hands can come to prayer. Sink your hips down. As your head drops, let those hands pass over your head and come down behind you, pointing kind of towards your rear or your hips. So your hips are high. Nice tricep stretch here. As you sink your hips more, you'll stretch through the tricep. Now you can do that right on the floor, and you can pick whatever edge of the block you like. If you like that flat long side, or maybe you like the taller long side. Maybe some people even like to use this very tall edge of things. I don't like that one as much because it makes my shoulders come into like a too narrow position to get my shoulders or my head through that little hole opening. So just do what you need and release. Let's stay in that puppy position with our hips high, but walk our hands over towards the left and right. So pick one side and just walk over that direction. Lean your hips away from your hands, and then come around to the other side. Press that chest towards the floor, and up tall again. Let's go ahead and thread just a little bit here, get that side opening. So this rotational movement is really important. We do it a lot, and sometimes we just do it kind of sloppy. So as you're pushing into your right or left hand, I'm going to start with pushing into the right hand so that I can open up towards the camera. We're going to inhale that left hand up off the floor. Take your elbow high and then open to the side of the room. As you open, that chest turns too. You have to open everything up. So even if you have to stay just a little more diagonal today because you can't open that wide, that's okay. But that shoulder should come towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread underneath. Reach towards the right side wall with the palm up. Inhale, coming up tall, open. Exhale, thread under. Inhale, open. Exhale, release, under. Let's take a half bind while we're here, reaching towards the side of the room. So lift your right hand off the floor. Extend it towards the ceiling. Now turn your thumbs towards your toes and drop the back of your hand behind you. Again, trying to open the whole chest to the right wall instead of just that shoulder. Breathe. And push into that right hand and come back up through all fours. So we'll go the other side now. So pushing into the left hand on the floor, find that good tabletop position. Inhale the right hand tall. Exhale all the way over to the left side of the room, extending with that palm up. Inhale as you open up, twist at your abdomen, twist at your middle chest, torso, and at your upper spine. So try to rotate all of those vertebrae open, little by little. 1, 2, 3, and exhale. Looking up at that hand, if you can add that neck rotation, maybe your neck isn't loving it. And as we reach here for the left side of the room, we'll take the left hand off the floor. As you lift it tall, turn your thumb towards your rear end or towards your feet, and then drop the back of your hand behind you so your back of your hand touches your back. And really, you see how I rotate that shoulder? It's kind of down towards the floor. I open up that chest and rotate so that that left shoulder is towards the ceiling. Just open that up. Great. And we'll come out of that rotation, plant the hand. We'll come on up into all fours. Let's sneak into our first down dog. So come up tall, the hips are high. Maybe you send your hands out a little farther today. Maybe that tightness in the hamstrings and the glutes and the quads is inhibiting things. So just pedal in. Maybe you twist, really bend into that knee and twist a little bit as you pedal. Noticing the tightness. Maybe you roll onto one side of the foot. Like as you're there, look at your feet, roll onto the outside edge of your foot. Maybe roll onto the inside edge. What does that do to that down dog as you're twisting it around?
Feel that stretch through your calves, sides, tops. Press into the heels of your hands. Extend through those legs. The chest is almost like a back bend as you press your chest towards your thighs. Peace fingers are forward, so check out your hands. A lot of you are just there with hands that aren't outstretched. Make starfish fingers, so you're using all of that surface area of your hand, air under your palms. Really engage your fingertips into the mat like you're holding on with fingertips. I always think of like tree frogs, those big finger pads. Let's shift forward into plank. Just find a nice strong plank. Just hang out here. Enjoy the plank pose, strong through the torso, nothing complicated. Let's lower the knees to the mat. Take a breath. With your inhale, lift up to down dog and come back into that nice down dog. Exhale, we'll come forward into plank. Inhale, exhale, knees to the floor. Sink towards child's pose. Inhale, up through all fours. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees lower. Shift into child's pose. Up through all fours. Shift into down dog. Exhale to plank. Let's hover a little bit here. So take your right knee and just bring it up towards your hands, hovering. We'll extend into that 3-point down dog if you can, lifting the leg tall. And we'll shift forward again into that plank, hovering. Just real slow. Shift back into down dog. Extend that leg. One more time. Hover forward. This time let's take our leg and turn it so that the right foot is towards the left side of the mat and your right knee is towards the right side of the mat. We're going to sink into pigeon. So walking that back leg behind you, come down into that pigeon stretch. So the lower part of your leg is parallel to the short end, front end of your mat. Now you can stay real tall in pigeon. Maybe you have a block or even two nearby that you want to put out in front of you and come down onto that to sink a little deeper. Sometimes that high pigeon stretch is more stretch in your hip and what you really need. So decide if you want to be low or high. One's not always more difficult than the other. You can come all the way down to the floor if you need that today. I think I need the tall pigeon. Just really breathe into that left groin. Take a breath, feel it go there. And then take another breath, feel it go into that right hip. As you exhale, just release a little bit more towards the floor. All right, we'll take those hands out to the outside of the blocks if you're on blocks. Coming out of this pigeon, curl your back toes first and lift your knee off the floor. Then extend that leg out behind you. We'll drop into child's pose once you get out there, so all fours sink down. Nice child's pose. Take a rest. Okay, we'll inhale up tall. We're coming up into down dog. Find that nice strong down dog again. We'll inhale forward to plank. Exhale. Inhale, draw the left knee under, hover. Exhale up to 3-point down dog. Inhale, hover. Exhale up to 3-point down dog. Inhale, hover. Exhale all the way up there. Feel that stretch. Maybe even want a hip opener when you're on the top. It's up to you. I sure do. Come forward. We're going to hover down. Come back to plank. Drop the knees. We'll sink into child's pose. Inhale up. Press into down dog. Inhale to plank. Hover with the knee. Back into down dog. Lower both knees, sink into child's pose. Inhale, lift. Up into down dog. Exhale to plank. We're going to come forward now with that knee. Hover. Now turn that left foot to the right side of the mat, dropping the left knee to the left side, sneaking that right leg back. Just walk it back. Stay tall. Real tall is fine. Or low onto the blocks, whatever you need. Use what you need. You know, I'm feeling it today too. If you're in a position of needing some help and leverage, then use it. Don't do more than you need, because that just creates an inflammatory response in your body and then sets you back. So the goal is to just be recovering, not injuring, not causing dismay in any of those body parts. So just enjoy that stretch. Again, breathing into that groin. Send the breath there. To exhale, release some more of that left hip. Just hanging out. We hang out a long time in pigeon because it takes a while for that breath to help us to stretch. So let's curl the back toes under, lift the knee, push into the hands, and then undo that hip stretch. Boy, we got to send out into down dog again. Just pedal in. We'll hover forward with both knees, pressing up tall. Hover forward both knees, press up tall. One more time. Hover with both knees, press up tall. We're going to walk this time though. Send your feet towards the front of your mat while your hands are planted. Just travel to that nice forward fold. Now maybe your forward fold today is like, woo, but maybe we've done enough warm up here that you're feeling a little limber. But bend your knees. I'll bend our knees a lot. Bring that chest towards your thighs, or your belly towards your lap. You can hold on to your big toes and take your elbows wide. So 2 fingers, like your peace fingers. Just let your head fall. Hold it on. Draw that belly into your thighs, into your lap. And then just relax, and we'll come up a little tall into monkey. So a nice long monkey stretch. Faces towards the floor. Long back. Looks like a little tripod here. Exhale back into that fold. Bend the knees a lot. Drop the top of the head. Take hold of those big toes. Bend the elbows wide. Or you can come behind and hold on behind your legs. It's up to you. Nice bent knee. And come back up to monkey. Let's take a block out front. We're going to plant it right in front of us. We do this stretch a lot. Plant your right hand, bend your right knee, open up into a nice twisted forward fold. Feel that stretch through the left hip, behind you the glute, and look up towards the ceiling. We'll go with our breath here. So exhale, drop the left hand to the block or the floor. Open to the right side, bending that left knee. Switch, bend the right knee. Really stretching through those hips now. Left and right. Good work. Just feel it. One more time to the left side. So drop the left hand, bend the left knee. And then coming back to center, we'll straighten out. Drop the top of your head one more time. Just take our hands behind our back and interlace them. They can just hang out there, or as you're folding, you can lift those hands in yoga lock, a forward fold with yoga lock. If you want to, you can take that same bend in the right knee and let the hands fall towards the right. Be gentle with your shoulders, side to side. And release them down to the floor. I'm going to press up into chair. So come through that seated position. Lift the hands. Hands to heart. If you're done with your shoulders, it's up to you. And then come up tall to stand. Nice job. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a
standing balance. So come into that mountain pose, strong through the mountain, strong through that core. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift through lift our right knee, standing on our left foot, so that knee just comes tall. Hands can be lifted in stork. Now we'll cross that right foot over our left knee. Hands come to heart, and you can sink down into that standing pigeon, which is kind of like chair, keeping those hips behind you. Oh my goodness. Laugh at yourself if your balance is crazy today, like mine. Oh my goodness, I feel like a little dance move. That was hilarious. Yeah, try it out yourself. Whew. It's hard to come into it from stork. If you come just from standing, that could be a little bit easier. But boy, my balance is a little wobbly today. That was funny. Should put that on the blooper reel. And up we go. So Julie was telling me that she watches and sometimes she's like, wow, Trina's really wobbling and I'm really still. So kudos to you if you didn't fall out of that pose today. So come back up to tall. We'll go through stork again. So inhaling, lift that left knee tall. Raise the hands. And then twisting that left knee, we'll cross it over the right. Hands come to prayer and at your chest. And then sink down into that right side. There, see, my other side is better. That's funny. And coming up tall to stand. Great, that's awesome. Let's inhale the hands up tall. Exhale, nice swan dive or bow. Just come to that nice deep forward fold. Drop the top of the head. Inhale tall. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale tall. This time when you come up, a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. I'll switch directions. Inhale tall to stand. Little back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale, sweep the hands, back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale, sweep the hands, back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Awesome. Come up through monkey. Exhale, fold. We'll step back with our right foot into lunge. So the left foot is forward, the right foot is back. Just enjoy that lunge. We'll drop the right knee to the floor. Take your right hand inside your left foot. We'll twist open to that side. So the left hand is high. Now drop the left hand behind you, reaching for the back end of your mat. You can stay there or lift your right foot and take hold of that right foot. It's up to you. And release. Untwisting. Plant your hands. Step up off that back right knee. Step back into plank. We'll do one chaturanga. Have you noticed we haven't done any yet? So peer out over your hands and then lower down with those elbows tight. Shift forward to cobra. Let's come up through cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back up through cobra. Exhale, lower down. Let's press up through all fours. Sink into child's pose. Up through down dog. We'll step forward with that right foot now into the lunge on the right side. Find that nice lunge position. Drop the left knee down. We'll take the left hand inside the right foot, opening up towards the right side of the room. Now lower that right hand, looking behind you. Follow the hand and decide if you want to raise that left foot and take hold of it. And unwind. That's great. Curl those back toes under. We're going to step back into plank. One more chaturanga. Looking out overward. Lower down. Elbows are close. Now when you're down here on your mat, let's slide our hands forward so that we're on our elbows in Sphinx pose. So not cobra. The hands are out front, but we're on our elbows. The lower arms are parallel. Just enjoy that stretch there, lifting the face.
If you want, you can press out of the hands into seal and then lower down into Sphinx. Inhale up to seal. Exhale to Sphinx. We'll drop our forehead to the mat here. So you have to release through your shoulders. Great. Just stretching it out. We'll bring our hands down to our side. We're just going to finish up here actually on our bellies today, which is a little different. It's a different way to notice your breath. For you belly sleepers, you're probably like, yay, Shavasana on our stomachs. So first of all, let's inhale. We'll lift that right foot up off the floor. Take hold of it with your right hand. Just draw it into your glute. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift the left foot. Draw it into the glute nice and tight. And release. Inhale through that right one. This time you can take it wide. So turn the foot, the toes out towards the right wall, and then let that thigh roll open a little bit as you keep the knee in the same spot. So it's a very breaststrokey kind of move. If you're not a breaststroker, just enjoy wherever that foot goes. If it doesn't even want to turn, you can just give it your best shot. And exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift the left foot. You'll be able to see better. So turn the left toes outward. Take hold of that ankle with your left hand and just draw that into the glute with the foot more outward. And relax. Just tap those feet out onto the floor. And then decide what side you like your head on, if you want it to be turned to the right or the left. And just notice your breath as you inhale. Feel it expand, your belly press into the mat. As you exhale, that whole chest should lower, your body get closer to the floor. If you don't really like this Shavasana on your belly, you can roll over onto your back too. Just take some time here just to relax. Noticing that equal parts breath. And deciding you can take a little bit longer in your Shavasana time, especially if you're watching the recording. Just take some time for yourself. Maybe it's a good time for you to have some meditation, thinking about the weekend, thinking about the week ahead. Maybe it's a nice time to clear your mind. So go ahead and do whatever it is that you want. If you have questions about the workout today, please do feel free to send us a note at summersedgeyoga@gmail.com. I know I've said that before. When the webinar closes for you, it will take you to Wednesday's workout. So if you want to register for Wednesday, it'll be all set for that. If you want to register for Friday, that workout is posted already too on our channel. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. You can look around and find out what workouts are upcoming at your own leisure. Check us out on social media. So we're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. We do post some good articles from other yoga experts, and we
post some ideas and some freebies for workouts too. But we're always trying to keep more information in your hands. So if you want to follow us on those venues, we'd love to have you there. So again, have a great day, a great week. Looking forward to seeing you back. We'll get some regular work done on Wednesday. Thanks for coming. It's been great having you. Take care.